What is going on, everyone? My name's Boy, and I'm back with some more Age Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the top of the map in the red color, playing as Zeus. He is TheMista. His opponent today, a familiar face as well, in the blue color, playing as Set. His name is Skady. The map is Savannah, and you might be fooled to think that maybe Mista's come back in the year 2021, but I will let you know, no. This game was played in December 2013. So we're going back in time. We're living back in the day where, pandemics weren't a thing. Relics were still relics and all the good stuff was happening there. 2013, I was a first-year university student and doing some casts of Age Mythology, and we see the Pharaoh healing up the villager as he took a big beating there. But we do have a very interesting matchup here because I'm not 100% sure when Skady became cracked at this game. But in 2013, he was for sure a decent player. And we'll see exactly how he's going to go in this game. A little bit of idle town center time there at the first start of the game, but it's going to be fine. Mista, on the other hand, let's check out what he's doing. He's gone 6 villagers onto food, moving over to 3 villagers onto wood. He might go 4 villagers onto wood here. That happened quite a bit back in the day, the 4 villagers on the wood. So we'll see that, if what's going to happen there, basically. Yes, 4 villagers on wood, and especially... Oh, no, he's going 3 villagers on wood. I was going to say, especially when you go so many villagers on food here early, the extra villager on wood felt like it was necessary because you would have to chuck a little bit more elsewhere. We see the house is going to have to come up. He's going to chuck that one down. You might think that this is a bit of a random house placement from Mista, but I believe it's going to be chucking up a temple and a wall, and he's going to try and block this location in. And that's life. That's good. That's it. So we've already got people asking how old the recorder game is, as people are coming in a little bit late. They've missed the age of this recording. It's 2013, December of 2013. So Rhinoceros getting pushed back into, or pulled into the granary. This is very, very good stuff here. And I don't fully remember when Mista became like the best, kind of undisputed best player for whatever period he was playing in. But I do know that this time he was very, very strong, and so strong, in fact, that he lost very few games. Very few games, and I believe I believe it might even be the point where he held the top 1, 2, and 3 spot of the Ensemble Studios Online Age Mythology: The Titans ladder, and that might be correct. I might be wrong though. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again, but we'll see how the game's gonna go here. If we move over to Skady and see what's happening over in Skady's base, he's got no villagers on wood. So even back in 2013, people were using Joe's build orders. You basically do always just want to rush the second age as set, especially back in no patch. So this was played on no patch. So Shifting Sands would be able to take a villager or 3. Also, Bolt would be able to be used on villagers. We're going to have that super strong Bellerophon in the late game for Mista if he gets there. And we have a classic Skady mining camp here. He's never going to change because even back then he's still like, well, let's just put it off to the side. Now, the thing about this is there's all of this surface area that these villagers will be able to drop off just a little bit faster. So there might be some sort of thought process behind here that makes this maybe a little bit better, but I don't think that it actually works, especially if you don't fix the villagers up. But we're already seeing those walls coming up now for Skady, preemptively shutting down any sort of Santar raiding that might be coming his way, as Mista should be advancing, but he is going through Athena. Decided to go Athena, not the Hermes style here. Potentially going to rush a second town center. No, he's only got 4 villagers on gold. So this is looking like an Athena rush kind of opening here from Mista. His villagers are all back at home, though. He doesn't really have anything outside of his base. Where are all his villagers? They're okay. They're all up here. So he's got 4 or 6 villagers on food, finishing up this hunt over here, and he's just going to be defending himself for the time being. And we'll see where he's going to go here straight away. What are his plans? He's going to immediately build the Odysseus out, wants to get that one out. Did he get his Theseus? No Theseus out, but the Odysseus should be able to shut down the priest and pharaoh. And if this isn't anything that you haven't seen before, this is actually a really, really strong opening from Mista. Super early walls. There's no need to get aggressive, just completely controlling his side of the map. And he's going to feel very, very safe with that one there, as we see the pharaoh and priest coming in for a little cheesy attack there onto the villager, but not going to get a kill. The Odysseus going to be sending that one away, and we do see the Theseus, sorry, not the Theseus, the Jason in Skady's base here. Going to be looking for some cheeky damage in this game. We see the Minotaur pulling back. We see that shifting sands getting cast here, pulling those villagers into the base of Skady, and he's going to lose every single one of them there, it looks like. So getting that shifting sands usage there is very, very good, and is a big reason why it was nerfed. Now, what ended up happening is people got better, was they would go for a 4:30 advance time, leave their pharaoh at home, no need to do anything like that. They would just cast vision on their opponent's base and then just shifting sands into the town center at 4:30. It got a bit obnoxious. It got very, very one-dimensional with set, and that was a big reason why I believe it got nerfed on all platforms that have any sort of balance changes post 2013. But Mr. down 3 villagers right now, but he is Greek, and this is the thing where with the no patch. This is the thing with the no patch. Yes, shifting sands was bonkers because it stole 3 villagers, but so was Zeus. Zeus was also bonkers. 5-second Bellerophon, super cheap Forge of Olympus. It was all bonkers. We see that second town center now coming up for Mista. He's going to be actually having a very difficult time here supporting villagers because he doesn't really have any hunt that he's on. He does have this rhinoceros over here he can eat if he's spotted it or not. He has spotted it, so he may head over there. But he's got the stable archery range coming out, and he's going to have to start farming fairly early in this game. We do see these villagers eating up the chickens in his base, villagers coming over onto the wood potentially. These villagers going to jump onto the wood. That's exactly what we're seeing, and we see the farm coming up right now. We do have hand axe, pickaxe, very, very early for Mista. Meanwhile, we've got the spearmen coming in. They're going to be greeted by the town center. There is a little crack here in the wall, but that's not going to be where Skady really wants to be. He's going to be retreating away from that location there. And this wall with a little crack in it is going to be a little bit sad, but we do see the raid from Mista retreating away, and Skady still one town center in this game. Not sure exactly what his plans were. I feel like he thought because it's Savannah, it's super open, he can get some value out of some early spearmen, but we are going to be seeing a very delayed second town center. So this is some interesting play here. Early spearmen with set would make a lot of sense on a sort of like more central resource spawn Savannah, where you can kind of push your opponent off of those. But we're just going to see Mista ignoring his giraffe in the middle of the map and in favor of simply just getting farms. Simply just getting farms. So we'll see how that's going to go. And now we've got the town center is just about to pop up. The spearman turning around does snipe one of those units. There's the town center up. You're going to get a couple of volleys away, just one, missing basically all those arrows because everyone in that town center is drunk, and they're going to sort that out. Anyways, now we've got the units retreating away from this location here, and Skady is moving down to the bottom of the map here, going to grab his other rhinoceros in the corner here. Now, villagers over here grabbing this granary for Mista. He's going to be able to eat these giraffe relatively safely. He's got an army out, so it should be fine. But he doesn't really have the scouting on the map that he would need to be able to... Oh, wrong person, Mista. He doesn't really have the scouting he needs to be able to know if any raids are coming over here. And that's going to basically mean that his army has to sit on this location and defend it. And this is vitally important for Mista to hold this hunt here. And not get raided, and basically he's not going to be able to do any damage elsewhere, so may as well just chill over on this location, and we will see Mista now throwing up even more walls. This is where the game started to develop here. As you can see, Mista was always a little bit ahead of his time in Age of Mythology. And we can already see him very much so getting into it with these walls. And same with Skady. Both players getting it all set up. Nice and defensive here. Everything is kind of protected for Skady. His resources are very safe, and he's just going to continue here and see if he can hit some sort of, get some sort of damage dealt with his army. He's got the spearmen out. He's got the slingers. Very, very good army composition against what Mista's got, especially with the Pharaoh and the Priest in here to deal with that Minotaur. So we'll see if these units are going to greet each other, but it looks like Skady just doesn't know where he can really apply pressure. He's going to be moving forward, maybe applying some pressure onto this wood line here with the slingers, Pharaoh, Priest over the thing, but no, he's going to turn around, look for somewhere else. Maybe he's checking the hunt over here and noticing that this is all dead, because you can check that out in the Fog of War on the original game as a slight extra advantage. Now seeing these spearmen retreating away, doing the good stuff. Armory now coming up for Skady as he's going to be gearing up to go to the Heroic Age. Now, when you get the 2 town centers going for set, if you have a good enough hunt, you can really, really power ahead to the Heroic Age. But what's happening here is that basically Skady's going to have to move all the way over here to eat these giraffe, and he's going to be very, very hard pressed to get to the next age, where Mr. is simply just grabbing his 3rd town center, staying completely fine with getting this town center here, as he's got the units out. He's got a restoration. There is a very real possibility that Skady can hit a timing attack with Ancestors here. So long as Skady can get out some siege towers and put the pressure on, he should be able to get a very strong timing attack here. Now let's see these units coming in, trying to engage this fight here. It's looking like this guy's not 100% sure if he wants to take the fight or not. He will continuously push in and out of this location here, and it's looking like Mr. may have to say go here. Nice bolt there onto the Pharaoh, going to keep his Minotaur alive for quite some time. The Slingers need to be targeting down these Toxotes. There's the restoration, and Skady says, I'm going to go anyways, and does snipe another Toxote, but a lot of the Skady units will get picked off here as Skady going to be retreating away from this location with that Priest slowing the army down, and the Hyena as well. I mean, I think the Hyena's a little bit faster, 4.0 speed, but the Priest is 3.6 speed. We will see Mr. stop chasing, but Skady has forced out a restoration there. But a big win for Mr. because now he's got 3 town centers. He's got his farms set up. His economy is booming. And essentially for Mr. right now, he's just going to want to be able to race to the Mythic Age through Hephaestus, abuse that Bellerophon, abuse that Forge of Olympus, and try and come out in front. Now, Skady's best bet here is to be getting to the Heroic Age and potentially hitting a timing with Horus before Mr. can. So we'll see if he's going to be able to manage that one or not. He's got a lot of villagers on gold here. 9 villagers, 24 villagers on gold. We see him attacking yet again. The Priest going after that Minotaur in the back. The Slingers microing very, very nicely there onto those Toxotes. And Mr. trying to micro back, but they're all going to be falling. And it's looking like Skady is getting some very, very good trades here. Sniping 1 Minotaur. Very nice play. Mr. does get out another Minotaur, but this is going to be brutal here for Skady. One of the other things that he's got that it's going to be very brutal for Mr. One of the things that Mr. does need to worry about is his second gold mine. He's up on the top of the map right now, chucking up the walls, trying to secure that gold mine. He's over on this gold mine, trying to secure this gold mine, but he's realizing not going to be able to get that one. And essentially, we see Skady coming up to the top of the map, going to be chucking up a mining camp over here just to check it out. We see the mining camp just adjacent to the mining camp of Mr. here. So that's actually rather funny, chucking that one down. We will be seeing Mr. coming over to deal with this, chucking up some building walls over here as well. And now Skady is saying, no, you don't get gold over here. I'm coming over. He's going to be chucking up some watchtowers on this location over here just to hold it for as long as he possibly can. But I would prefer to see Skady get in the farms, get those going. He does have his monument up now. Maybe get a second monument as well and start making some animals of set. We'll see if he can take this military academy down at some point here, as Skady is throwing up even more watchtowers. Does he have crenellations? I don't think he's got crenellations just yet. If we check out all of his towers, yeah, no crenellations coming through, but that's going to help out a ton if he does get that against those cavalry. We see another wall coming over here. Mister's going to attempt to sneak up onto this location here. Let's see what he's going to be doing. Can he get to the next stage? He cannot get to the next stage. He's got full 80 supply villages right now. Cannot get to the Heroic Age, so he's not going to be able to abuse that trade route. But Mr. is 139 population. We do see the villagers coming over here going to be able to deny this tower for the time being as they deal a ton of damage to towers with the bonus damage that they get. Villagers chucking up another wall over here, but Mr. needs to be careful because he needs a gold mine here. Skady's units move so slowly. He needs to split these up just a little bit. Send the spearmen over here by themselves wouldn't be a bad idea because they move very, very quickly at 5.0 speed, but he's not doing so. Skady now, he's going Nefties. He's going to have ancestors to push through on this location if he so chooses. These villagers here getting caught out just a little bit. Another tower coming up in the back over here for Skady. This army of Skady's is scary, but I feel like Mr.'s army is starting to look a little bit more scary because of all of those Hippocon here. Those spearmen are going to get eaten alive by the Toxotes in the back, the hoplites, and then those Hippocons should be able to push through and clean up all those slingers very, very easily. But we'll see how this is all going to shape up as Skady pushing back in onto this location, holding onto this location, getting a bunch of these watchtowers. He's got crenellations now, trying to get this watchtower up if he can. There's the Nefties coming through for Skady. Mr. on the other hand, is he going to the next stage? Not just yet. He's very, very close. There's the ancestors popping down onto this location. No siege just yet for Skady. It's a little bit of a mistake here to cast the ancestors without any siege because your opponent just retreats back to their town center and it's completely fine. We do see one villager has snuck over onto this gold mine. The villager's moving over here as well to grab this one. But we will be seeing this attack pushing in. Another Minotaur coming in, but there's a lot of priests here for Skady to take down the Minotaurs. Nice play from Skady. You're going to be able to destroy this Minotaur here as Mr. getting pulling back here, trying to keep his units alive, waiting out that ancestors here. We will be seeing the units trying to retreat back. We've got Lexia asking if I've got a kid who's going to be the next AOM legend, and this is not correct. I do not have children. Sorry to disappoint. Unlike Chrono JJ, who is breeding the next generation of Age of Mythology titans. But we do see these units popping in over here, trying to keep the Pharaoh alive. Nice snipes here from Skady. These units over here a little bit out of position now. Mr. can deal with those pretty easily underneath the town center fire, but Mr. still trying to pump those units back out. He's got a lot of villagers over on this location, chucking up some sentry towers. Going to get watchtowers as well. Skady is he not aware that there is potentially something up there? He is aware. He sees the red dot up there as well. He's sending in the Scorpion Men, the Wadget, the Animals of Set. He's going to be able to push off this gold mine here. And Mr. super low on resources, still not advancing to the next age. Still pumping out resources here. We've got the Heavy Slingers upgrade coming through for Skady. And how is Skady doing? Oh, we've got a sneaky gold mine down the bottom of the map for Mr. as well. Does Skady notice that? He does not notice that. These villagers are so close to Mr.'s villagers, and they're just saying, I just don't know what's going on here. There's not a lot of villagers here, but 6 villagers on gold may be enough to help Mr. get to the heroic age, which is all he needs. If he gets heroic age, he can chuck a market down. He can sell the wood that he's got for gold and be in a fantastic position here. What I would love to see from Skady is send a villager up here and just wall this corner off. Wall this corner off, and he'll be in a completely controlling that location over here. We see a mining camp coming up onto this location, as well as Skady moving over there, and he will be spotting these villagers finally over on this location. But a little bit of a surprise to see Mr. over here as he pops in, sees these villagers. We'll see if he sends anything over there or not. And this is like classic Skady, so he does this on purpose, right in the corner here. Who knows why? Who knows why? We are seeing these units still pushing. We've got tons of Bull Minotaur now coming out for Mr. Mr. saying, look, I might not be able to produce anything other than Minotaur here, so I'm going to build a bunch of them. He can go heroic age now. He's chucking his armory up. He's got the gold to go there. He's got so many Minotaur, and Mr. is still alive in this game, even after getting gold star. We see the villagers pulling away as Skady has noticed that gold mine on that position over here. These units sitting idly by over here. Meanwhile, the Minotaur are going to be able to clean up these units here. The Epicon pushing through, not enough Priest and Pharaoh to deal with this Minotaur spam from Mr. And Mr. is able to live another day in this game, it seems like, as Skady still hanging around in this location, chucking up more watchtowers, trying to hang on. These Minotaur are getting picked off very fast, but the Pharaoh falls here. These priests in the back do not have funeral rites, but they have some nice upgrades. The armor upgrades from Skady are very, very interesting here. He's got bronze mailed. He's got copper weapons, copper shields. Mr. on the other hand's got no armory upgrades. We see the military academy stables coming up and another armory coming up as well for Mr. Maybe preparing for some very, very late some very, very late stage Hephaestus shenanigans, or maybe just an accident. But there's the Apollo coming through. Potential for like a underworld passage over here, or something like that to sneak that gold mine. Because well, I mean, where does he want to go with it? I don't really know. But it's looking like Skady just has complete map control here, complete gold control. He just needs to get out a bunch of heroes, and Mr. is going to be throwing down his market. Will be attempting to get some trade going in order to refill his population with decent units here. He's got a lot of wood in the bank, and currently wood is selling for 69 wood. So you sell 1,000 of that, you get 700 gold. Very, very good. We're going to see him start his trade route as well. So he could totally survive here, get enough markets up, sell the wood for gold, get those units pumping. He's going to move in and try and take down these watchtowers, but he does have to be careful because Skady can potentially go Horus here. Horus is going to be absolutely huge, getting that tornado down onto Mister's position, and we'll see exactly if that's going to work or not. Meanwhile, barracks falling. We see the units pushing over here, going to take down that watchtower, moving over to take down the market as well, potentially, but we are seeing Skady saying, no, 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 this location is mine here. Moving over here, these priests, still no funeral rites. Very, very sad priests dealing with all these myth units and no funeral rites. They're not the best hero without that upgrade. That upgrade is actually basically makes them a hero you can really use. If you compare what the priest damage is to, say, like a Norse Herser, they do very, very little until they get the funeral rites, and then they're about equal with every other civilization's ability to deal with the myth units. Though you can spam them, so that's another good thing you can do. They cost 2 population, like, I mean, the Greek heroes cost 2 population, 3 population, I think, is the Heracles, yeah. So, I mean, it's comparable when you get funeral rites, but before then, it's a sad state of affairs for the Egyptian player. You see the Pharaoh, though, is not a sad state of affairs with 18 damage there, whacking that Minotaur into the ground. Now seeing these fights continuing over here as Mr. is trying to get up a fortress to hold on to this location. Meanwhile, Skady, so many resources in the bank with 43 villages on gold. He needs more on food. He just hasn't started it. A lot of the villagers out of position here on gold mines. We've seen some farms going down in the corner of the map. I mean, you've got the granaries here, and Skady does have irrigation here, so he's got those upgrades. Feeling very, very nice here. Manticore getting targeted down now. We see this fortress will come up, and Skady still, I don't think he's got, well, he does have 1 siege works over here. Meanwhile, these units getting sniped on this location, but not going to be able to take this fortress down easily at all. And Mr. now bringing out some Peltas simply on the fact that they cost only 20 gold. It would seem like here. I mean, maybe you can use them to take down the slingers a little bit easier, but normally you just build Toxotes and it's better. Now we're seeing some mercenary cavalry coming in onto this location here. That's probably a mistake. How much HP do they have when they get in there, or how much lifespan? Like 5 seconds? 5 seconds when they come in here. So you're going to get off maybe a little bit more than 5 seconds, but they're going to fall very, very quickly here. Get a couple of shots off of damage, and then they're just going to die. So Mr. can kind of just ignore them and target everything else down and be completely fine here, but Skady just going to be continuously pushing in. He's got 17 villages on food, getting fortified town centers. He has a lot of idle military. He's now starting to send that idle military in. We see the Manticore getting targeted down over here. Does get pulled back fast enough here, and still no funeral rites for Skady. He could go half these priests and have funeral rites and be fine with dealing with these myth units. But Mr. still holding on. He's got the fortress here. The villagers all on top of this gold mine. Mr.'s got 154 of 160 population here. He's pushing Skady back, getting a very strong hold on this gold mine over here. And I think there's just got to be a lot of population kind of missing here for Skady. And we do see Mr.'s trade route in true chemo fashion, going for his defensive back corner to his 3rd town center, or 2nd town center, I guess you could call this one over here. I mean, both of them are kind of 2nd town centers in the way they're positioned, but it's a decent trade route anyways. 41 gold. It's not nothing. That's going to be really, really good here. We are seeing Mista pushing back, holding on, as these Manticore in the back doing some nice jobs here, keeping Mr. afloat. He does have 9 villagers on the favor right now, and Skady is now really struggling for resources. He's got all these units in here, but he's throwing them away. I would have to bet that the kill-loss ratio in this game heavily favors Mista, and maybe the economy not so much. And we're seeing these Manticore getting pulled back, doing their thing. See those slingers getting some good damage dealt over here, but some Manticore coming. Got to be careful. He's running them very close here, and we do see immediately Skady going to target that one down and snipe that one. Even speed walking those units back there. I don't know if you guys are fully aware of what speed walking is, but if you pull units back with something that's quick in this location, these units will catch up to get into formation faster if they move the right way. It can very much exceed their speed by doing that. But now Skady pushing in yet again with these mercenary cavalry. He must feel like he's got some ability here to end the game, but I don't think that Skady is quite aware here that there is a huge trade route going in the corner of the map. There's no way he's aware. Mr. finishing off on this gold mine, going to be moving up to the top of the map. We do see a chariot archer over here as Skady's still applying pressure right now. We see another fortress coming up, temple coming up, but Hephaestus is on the way for Mr. And Skady is not close to the mythic age at this point, so Hephaestus is going to be absolutely gigantic. These villagers at this point for Mr. I don't think he's really going to care if he loses them. Maybe he will care, but he shouldn't care because he's got a trade route up. He doesn't really need the gold income. He can go up to like 20 caravans here with plenty vault on a pretty average trade route and have plenty enough gold to be able to function here. He's going to be chucking them over onto the wood line here to get a little bit more wood income, as he's kind of short on that. But with 107 favor in the bank, that's a ton of Colossus, that's a Bellerophon, that's Forge of Olympus, and that's going to be a tough Zeus situation to deal with. Meanwhile, we see the siege tower pushing in, going to take down this fortress. Plenty Vault gets thrown down. Immediate Forge of Olympus. And where's the Bellerophon? Not enough resources for the Bellerophon, it would seem. I don't see it coming out anywhere, as we are seeing no Colossus either. I'm not exactly sure what Mr. spent all his resources on there. Maybe on coinage? No coinage. Extra armor is coming up now for Mr. He's still pumping out those camel caravans. He's getting out the Myrmidons. The Myrmidons, so incredibly strong against Egyptian, because the only unit that really can deal with the Myrmidon for Egyptian, and I mean the only unit, is Axemen. So if you have enough Myrmidon, not even Chariot Archers can deal with these Myrmidon, because they're just so obscenely strong. And we're going to have to see a tech switch into Axemen very shortly here for Skady. He's still happily mining away at this gold mine over here. Meanwhile, we've got that Colossus coming in, taking down the Migdol stronghold over here. Mr. still pumping out all of that gold, favor on the temple here. Probably should take some of these villagers off if he feels like he needs a little bit more food economy. Oftentimes when you see Greek players with very little resources, they often have a lot of villagers on favor, and those extra villagers would really help with the income. We're going to be seeing Mr. pushing back here as Skady is not able to make his way into Mr.'s base, and Mr. just playing very safe. He still has Underworld, so Mr. can get up basically whatever he wants. He's still no Bellerophon, but the armory upgrades coming in. Look at that. 50 food, 50 gold, copper weapons. What's this? 38 wood, 30 gold, copper shield. He's also getting the Aegis shield, and he's getting burning pitch as well for some reason. I'm not 100% sure why he got that technology first. There's the watchtowers now coming up. This Skady is going to try and hold the middle of the map. And we are seeing the Hippocon going to look for some raids over here, potentially take these down. The Colossus that was over here seemingly got dealt with. And Skady still hasn't started a trade route. He hasn't started a trade route because he's not in the Mythic Age, but Horus is incoming. So Set, very weak against the Hephaestus. If you have to deal with Hephaestus as Set, the best way to do it is just to hit the Horus first. Hit the Horus first, get in, tornado, win the game. is sort of the only real way. We are going to be seeing the Hippocon trying to find something to raid here, as at the 28th minute mark, it seems like Mr. is finally had a little bit of fresh air, a little bit of breath in this game. We see the chariot archers coming back over here, checking the gold mine out. And did we see, there's the trade route starting for Skady. Did we see Mr. getting the coinage upgrade? We do have the coinage upgrade, improving them up to 4.56 speed. Just researching it as I was asking the question. But still, no Bellerophon. A bit surprising, but we are seeing those infantry units moving in here. A lot of the past best, but these Myrmidon, those do so much damage. It's a plus 100% bonus damage. So instead of doing 15, they're doing 30 hack damage to this Migdol stronghold. 30 hack damage. That's like, is that 27 hack damage? No, it's got to be 20 something, 23 damage. No, 22, 21 damage a shot? 21 damage a shot at 15 damage, I think. Anyways, moving over here, going to be able to take down the Migdol stronghold from Skady. He's trying to get this one up. We've got the slingers in the back, pushing in. Going to be looking for some damage here. Slingers against infantry, not always the best, but this is going to be a very strong tornado to push in. If Skady can get the units to get that damage done. We do see the Hippocon taking out all these villages in the bottom of the map, taking out these villages over here. And Skady's economy is going to start suffering here. Skady's at 180 of 160 population, because when you hit the mythic age, you get an Avenger, which is worth 4 population. You get 2 Rhinoceros worth 3 Rhinoceros worth 4 population, and 2 Hippos worth 3 population. So that pushes you up to that population limit way above. We are seeing a Silver Colossus out now for Mr. And this is where things get scary for Skady. He's kind of got full map control, but we'll see if he's going to be able to make anything from it. There's the Bellerophon coming out now for Mr. Jumps in. This unit here has 5-second recharge on his jump. The jump does 100 hack damage. So he jumps in, he picks off the Pharaoh. He can jump over and basically one-hit the Avenger here if he micros the Bellerophon at all, but it's looking like he's going for those champion chariots. Anyways, it just jumping in and killing a chariot, half HPing it actually. You have to micro it a little bit though. Maybe not aware, maybe Mr. wasn't quite aware how strong the jump was back in the day, but he does move in, takes down another chariot archer here. And the only real way to deal with Bellerophon was cavalry. So if you make camelry to deal with the Bellerophon, you're going to be able to at least chase it around and get the damage dealt onto it. Slingers, no good. Chariots, no good. Spearmen, kind of okay, but the Bellerophon will just run away from them because it's 6 speed. So you definitely need that extra speed to really do anything. Now we see the Colossus taking down the Migdol stronghold over here. Myrmidon flooding in. We have heavy Myrmidon, full iron upgrades against Skady's full bronze upgrades. Obviously, Skady he can get the iron upgrades now, but obviously Skady's economy a little bit strapped for the cash here. We see no more upgrades coming through for Skady. More animals of set moving over here. I think those aren't more. I think those are just the ones that he originally had here. Meanwhile, these catapults trying to take down some military buildings over here. One of those Colossus does fall down. Meanwhile, we see the Bellerophon charging in, taking down those priests. The combination of Bellerophon plus Colossus, very strong, because Bellerophon can very, very easily snipe a priest with his special ability here. We see the villagers surrounding them, but just jumping through. Oh, is he stuck? He's going to be going after the villager. He's getting some little bits of damage done, but obviously he can jump out of that gold mine completely fine there. Sniping another villager over here. We see the Migdol stronghold going down very, very quickly over here. And Skady is just not getting any unit kills. Look at how little damage this Spearman does to the Myrmidon. It's just the HP just lasts for ages here. And now we see Bellerophon retreating back. And does Mr. have Temple of Healing? He doesn't have Temple of Healing, but is it coming through? No, it's not coming through. But we do see a random siege tower raid here coming for Skady. It's not going to happen. And there's the tornado there onto the town center of Mr. here. We'll see if it's going to be taken down. Mr.'s got architects. He's got fortified town centers. This town center is not going down. All you need is fortified town centers and masons to keep your town center alive versus a tornado. So that's just not enough damage there. And Mr.'s town center lives. No god power left for Skady. Still trying to deal with these Colossus here. Still doesn't have funeral rites. And the Myrmidon just completely chewing through all of these units here. This forward build here getting destroyed. The donkey caravans, excuse me, have been massed up. How many does he have here? If I'm trying to click 24, 29 camels or donkeys here. They're all camel caravans to me. 29 here, and we do see that Skady taps out in the 32nd minute mark of this game, as Mr. takes this one with an ironclad defense, not able to really secure a gold mine for the majority of this game. He managed to mine out one of these gold mines, but the trade route in the corner, still a bit of a Matrius market here, but not in the corner, was still enough for him to get that gold coming in. And Mr. showing why he is one of the best of all time. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow. Actually, let's look at the trade. Let's look at the post game. Why not look at the post game? We've got the economy here. Mr. in front on everything apart from gold, but his gold from the trade actually puts him in front on gold as well. 95 civilian unit high. The kills lost, he's actually really close. I mean, it's 400 lost for Skady because I think a lot of those were mercenary, potentially, I would guess. And also the minions get counted in that, and the ancestors and the animals of Set get counted in as well. So a lot of those, we basically want to look more at the units killed for how much Skady actually lost here. So 40 units only in this situation seems like not as much as I would have thought. But it's enough to put Mr. way in front. The text all there. Heavy Spearman of 135 for Skady. Soxotes 63. If you look at the resource graph here, you can just see for the entirety of this game, even with the shifting sands on the villages there at 538, Mr. just skyrockets in front, and he's just able to hold on and take this game. So if you guys did enjoy this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and leave a comment if you so feel like it would be worthwhile. And I'll see you guys in the next game.